Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it. You already know. Like a motherfucking smack addict. Buy up, buy up. And in Menudo style in direct fashion, we're going to get straight to the content of the day. But before we do, look at this fucking idiot over here, monkey mouth. He's over there fucking trying to hold it in, but it's ready to just fall all out. Let's hit that like and subscribe button, man. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content that I am kicking. And I'm very humbled and thankful for all the support that I get, man. So, what about Wes Watson getting beat up by a bully? You're not a bully. I am. What? You are? Well, shit, let me grab an AK. This knife ain't gonna work. You're gonna take this and shove this up my ass like if I'm Wes Watson. Come on, dog. Hey, homie. Hey, homie, don't. Hey, homie, what are you doing? Hey, homie, what are you doing? That's how it sounds in the gym when Wes Watson and the Sharmuta Cartel are all performing push-ups, right? Oh, I can't anymore. Okay, I'm out. How many is that, homie? That's 20. That's 20, right? So why is it you want to touch it? So, look, Wes Watson got beat up. Now, there was a guy that was interviewed by Street TV, I'd say going on close to a year ago. And this guy that was interviewed, man, did time with Wesley Montague. According to Dubs, that's Montague Watson, right? In Oklahoma. You know, because we know West didn't do much time here. According to him, he's the only guy in the history of the CDC that started off level 4 and immediately dropped to level 2 points. No level 3, none of that. Just skip a whole number and just go straight from level 4 to level 2. But in the meantime, in between time, during all these years he was incarcerated, tell everyone that was in all these level 4 yards. It's weird, right? So he told a story, and the story was a trip. Wes Watson got beat up by a shot caller. So all these times Wes Watson's been telling everyone that he's been a shot caller everywhere he goes because of his size and his aura and his strength and his intelligence and everything else that's better than everyone else, right? Was a lie. And it got exposed by the fact that when he was in Oklahoma, he wasn't shit but a guy working in the kitchen washing pots and pans and staying the fuck out the way. Now, according to this guy, he did have a little bit of weed on him for whatever reason, man. He used to hook people up with a stick here and a stick there. I guess this individual who told the story, he's a Southsider, right, was actually affiliated with Wes Watson, and Wes Watson used to come plug him in with a little bundle every day and for a stick. Like, here, sell my shit, you get a stick. Which I highly doubt, because at the same time, I've never seen Southsiders working for any other group while incarcerated. They might have a working relationship, like, hey, bro, I got you. You scratch our backs, we scratch yours. But I've never seen a fucking dude like Wes Watson just pull up on your cell, slide you a bundle and say, hey, you can keep a stick. Go ahead and get rid of the rest of that. It's not the way it works, right? But hey, shout out to Wes Watson for fucking shooting a fucking Southsider a stick of weed. You know what I mean? If he did that, he knows better. But anyways, this guy told a story about Wes Watson, the wizard, Wes Watson, right? The leader and the guru of the Sharmuta Cartel. And in this story, this guy, Wes, actually got beat up by a shot caller. Not beat up, he fought a shot caller, okay? And my thing was, if Wes is shot calling in California prison system, right, like he says, if he's the man everywhere he went, you know, and he ran the yards and people listen to him and, you stupid motherfucker, why'd you bring all that clear in without fucking clearing it with me, right? And all these different things happened that Wes says happened during his stories, right? Why wasn't he a shot caller in Oklahoma? You could do it all throughout the state of California, run every yard. You're the most massive dude on the yard. You're all blasted back. You're a gangster. You started getting tattoos on your neck at the age of 14. You're encouraging youngsters to go get blasted because that's all anyone cares about. You're wearing your fucking your chest plate is your license to control the yards. Yet you're in Oklahoma and you're not no shot caller. In fact, there was a guy there. According to what this Southsider dude said, he said there was a guy there named Bam Bam who was actually for the whites, the one, right? And he told Wes straight up, you're going to get your fucking hands dirty like the rest of us, money man, right? And Wes felt disrespected, I guess. You know, he called Wes a bitch. According to this dude, you know, this was the type of guy that used to bully people, bully his own people, come up behind him in the day room, choke him out a little bit, you know, slap on their butt, credit check, all this. And Wes got tired of it. Wes got frustrated and tired of it. So one day they're in the gym and this guy, I don't know if he plays too much, but he's the shot caller for the Woods at the time, the key holder. They don't really call them shot callers, they call them key holders, right? So he's holding the llaves on the yarda for the Woods. And mind you, this is Oklahoma, so it's a little bit different. And this guy calls Wes Watson. He calls Wes Watson
a bitch.
To which Wes Watson, I'm sure, is used to throughout his life being called a bitch, but feels because he's in prison, he just got to hold it down, right? So Wes Watson decides that if for no other reason to chunk him with the boy. You know, look, one thing I can say about Wes, he may lie about his stories in prison. He may put too much. He might put 2 on the 10. He might put just a lot of sriracha on his fucking content, right? He's trying to spice it up for you. But the fact is that this guy says that he was right there and he witnessed Wes Watson fight for a whole 5 minutes. A whole 5 minutes. Now, I know this guy probably watches this guy, the Southsider dude, right? His name's Santo G, right? And I don't know him. I've seen his content pop up. He's sitting like on a porch and shit, but I've never really watched it. But respects to him, man, for putting out his stories, right? But the story seemed I don't want to poke holes at the story, but I'm going to poke holes through the story. And I'm going to explain to you why. So I've been in prison a lot of years. You know, I did a lot of time. And anyone that fights knows, okay, a street fight ain't going to last 5 minutes. Okay, things happen fast. You know, you might think in your mind, damn, I fought him for like 5-10 minutes, man. We were chunking him. No, actually, it was like 1 or 2 minutes at the most, maybe 30-40 seconds. You're just chunking them real fast. Now, if you're in a prison setting, the gymnasium, anywhere, and you're having a one-on-one, right? It's called mutual combat. You know, you guys mutually decide to fight, like a fade. Let's just get the one-on-one, real man shit, right? Okay, there are officers that will turn a blind eye for a little bit, you know, just a second or two, because they're going to let you chunk them. They're going to let you get yours. They might let it go on a minute or two. Like if they don't like a certain someone, they're like, fuck it. Or they figure they're on man time. It's better to get the one-on-one than to cause a melee. But you always got to be aware that these cops are thinking like this. Damn, if this shit gets out of control and someone starts pulling out weapons or other people get pumped up, because that's what happens during fights. You remember when you were younger in the schoolyard fights and shit, you know, everyone's starting to get pumped up. So now people are like, fuck that, I want to chunk them too, right? And then it turns into something way bigger than what it should be or should have been, right? So a cop is going to let you get yours for a minute, you know, unless it's a setup and they sent the dude on you or whatever. You know, I mean, I've seen all the movies. But they're going to let you get yours, right? Now, at the end of the day, it's a good fight. It's a good fight. They're men too. Most of them, they just want to watch the fight. Then they got to break it up. They got to maintain the integrity of the institution, right? They're not going to let a fucking full-blown fight go on for 5 minutes. That's not the way it works. Just think the gladiator wars in Corcoran. I mean, it's not what happened. So maybe in the Southsider homie's mind, maybe he thought, hey, it seemed like 5 minutes they were chunking. But he said him and Wes, the shot caller, and Wes Watson chunked them for like 5 minutes, and they were going, right? And it was a good fight. He said Wes Watson was in that motherfucker, just boom, 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 boom. Wes was in that motherfucker like,
get off me! I ain't a bitch! I ain't a bitch! Right?
To which we all know, you know, we don't know. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But he fought this big bully shot caller off of him, and that was that for a whole 5 minutes. And according to that guy, the cops turned a blind eye and just let him because Wes had it like that, and that dude had it like that. And so after 5 fucking minutes of gladiator war right there in the Oklahoma gymnasium in prison, Wes Watson came around with a busted nose, and that was that. Okay. No retaliation. You know, I guess they're just allowed to fight like that, and that was it. The other Woods didn't trip. Even though Wes challenged and fought the shot caller of the Whites, he was good. He was still cool. I guess he earned his respect. Now, I don't know how it works in the White Wood world, brother, but one thing I do know for sure, brother, you got coffee? You got coffee? Can I get a sip? Can I get a sip? You got clear? You know what I mean? Because I'll make a Jack Shack right now, brother. Right? Let me tell you something. Dealing with Woods on the yard, they're not the ones. They don't play, right? Now, I understand that these guys were all out of state in Oklahoma, so the rules were a little bit different. Maybe you were getting away with things that you just quite wouldn't get away with in Soledad or Salinas Valley or High Desert or Jamestown or Susanville or any of these prisons, Tracy especially, right? But so you're telling me that this guy, Wes Watson, was allowed to put hands on the bully, the shot caller, though? He was a bully on me? fuck. And how many Woods were on that yard? There was 10, 11, 6, 5. There was 2 of them, right? Look, I'm going to tell you guys right now. Wes Watson, the story is bullshit. It smells of shit. I'm going to tell you why I think it smells of shit. And I believe that this individual, man, and nothing against the dude Santo G, right? But I believe that, he knows, he did time with Wes Watson. He knows of Wes Watson. And so he was like, fuck, I'm going to capitalize on the name. Why not, right? And told this story. And maybe they did fight. But you mean to tell me that the Woods didn't press up on Wes for fighting the shot caller? You don't disrespect people with the llaves or like that. Look, now, different races, different groups can get down. You can catch fades. I know the whites, they could chunk them like in the cell or whatever. I've never seen white dudes, and correct me if I'm wrong, Woods, brother, you guys are out there. I've never seen white men actually fight on a prison yard or an open public space for everyone to see, right? Put their business out there, a white on white crime, brother. I've never seen it. And then one of them or both of them are allowed to continue to walk the yard. It's all good. They just got a fight, had a fade. I've never seen that. This is prison we're talking about. Usually the guy with the llaves with the keys, if he's all bad, if he's fucking bullying people, if he's applying pressure, if he's calling people out of their names, that it gets that to the point that someone puts hands on him, usually they're removing him. He's gone. They're stabbing him. Got to go. Someone else is taking over. Wes, you're the new guy, right? But in this case, these guys were just allowed to fight. Again, it's Oklahoma, so things were different, right? But these guys were allowed to actually fight, chunk them, handle their business, and go back to the yard. And Wes just got a little bit of a bloody nose, and he was still
a bitch.
Right? I just don't think it rings true, man. I think the story, there's holes to poke in it. And especially when the cops sat there and let it go on for 5 minutes and turned a blind eye and just cheered and didn't do nothing. Maybe Wes Watson, they seen the future. They knew he was going to be loaded, homie, and he was going to be renting Bugattis. I wanted to touch on that too. There was a guy who jumped on the live yesterday, myself and Dubs. We were doing our live like we do. And he literally jumped on the live and is going to show and send evidence to Dubs, man, to prove that the Bugatti that Wes Watson drives around is not even his Bugatti. He's actually renting it from somebody. And he has proof that it's not. So I don't know, man, whether that's his Bugatti or not. I mean, it's not like it makes a difference. He's cruised in one. I haven't. So that's that. But so anyways, that story seemed like, you're trying to tell me that the Woods didn't all move on Wes after that fight? You're telling me Wes had that much respect on the yard? You're telling me that he was just allowed to fight with the shot caller. He wasn't the shot caller like he's told in other stories. Yeah, I ran the yard, dog. I ran the yard, dog. No, you didn't, dog. You didn't do shit. What you did is you ran to the kitchen as soon as they opened it to go wash the pots and pans, bitch, because we were hungry. That's what you ran. I've seen other people that have told stories about Wes Watson that said he wasn't what he proclaims to be. Now, again, also, I got to give this dude Santos G the benefit of the deal, right? Because he did say in the story that the Wes Watson he sees today is definitely not the Wes Watson he was locked up with. He said all that yelling and screaming and acting all fucking want to be alpha, but really a beta. That's not the Wes he knows. He said the Wes he knows was very humble, very quiet. Hey, dog, you want a stick of weed? Yeah, so yeah. Hey, what's up to the homies, to the Southerners? You notice in every story, Wes Watson sucks up to the South Side. He's scared to death of Southsiders. He don't want no smoke. And now he's hanging around with the fucking Sharmuta Cartel, who's fucking big old Manchichi guy, claims to have been a Southsider at one point in time, Wes, you're getting a little too affiliated, bud. You better stay away, man, before your ass writes a check or your mouth writes a check. Big old monkey mouth writes a check that your ass.
It can't cash it, bro. You know what I mean? You don't want to go that route. You don't. You really don't.
I don't know. One thing I know for sure is that story just seemed false to me. The Volta was telling me. I don't know if he's just trying to look out for Wes or figure, man, if he spoke good about Wes, maybe Wes will do a video with them or interview. I don't know. Really, I don't, man. And again, I'm not calling the Volta a liar. I'm just saying the story to me doesn't ring true all the way, I'm not saying Wes didn't handle business and fight people. I'm sure he did. He's a grown man. He was in prison. You have to fucking earn your space. You have to fight. You have to do things, man. That's part of the game, right? But that particular story just doesn't seem. I don't see any scenario where Wes could actually put or even challenge the shot caller and then be able to just maintain and walk on the yard again. The Woods would trip. Like, hey, brother, he fucking touched you, brother. Yeah, but it was a one-on-one fight, Wood. Yeah, I know that, brother, but still, all the essays and the blacks and the Asians, they seen us, brother. That's fucking up our, it's fucking up your reputation. That's why, like Mexicanos, Dubs has done videos in the past. I've done videos in the past. It's a no hands-on policy. If Avalto's getting took off on, he's getting blasted and removed from the yard. It's no hands-on because, hey, first of all, you're on a level 4, you're on a grown man shit. You ain't got time for all that. But again, man, I don't know if that Oklahoma was a level 3 or level 2. I'm sure it was I heard it was level 3/4. I don't know, right? Exactly how it worked out for Wes. He's different, man. That Vato, his aura changes everything for him. His prison time is not like your prison time. He gets to do whatever the fuck he wants because he's as real as it fucking gets. And remember that. That's just how that is. But then he also started to tell a story, that guy Santo G, about the riot, the notorious Oklahoma.
You can't really talk about it, man, because according to fucking Wes Watson, that fucking riot was heavy. He cut some guy's feet off, he said.
About the riot and how it started. Now, I've heard a lot of stories, man, but I definitely got to say that the story that this guy Santo G's told is the story I've heard the most. And this notorious Oklahoma riot that Wes Watson cut a guy's feet off and he was fucking bashing people's brains in. He was just handling his fucking business like the Woods do, right? Or like he did. Allegedly, the Woods weren't doing it because they didn't fucking beat him up, right? He got a little blood nose, but that's about it. Anyways, in this riot, the way it started off was they were in the chow hall line, and it started between the blacks and another, right? And this black dude swung, he overswung, and he hit a southerner in the back of the head, and it just went up, right, from there. Now, there was guys that have tapped in with me that like, hey, I was there. We were on lockdown for this many months or that many months. I don't think it doesn't matter how long they were on lockdown. That doesn't really matter, right? But the thing is, according to Wes, man, he was cutting people's feet off. The whites were rocking, they were rolling, and I'm sure a lot of people were involved. But he was on lockdown for 16 months. He likes to project what happened or tell the stories of what happened, but put himself in that position. Like, let's keep it real, Wes. You were on lockdown from 3 to 6 months or whatever it was, and you were able to walk around and fucking do what you do. And so this is why the story kind of didn't ring true when the guy Santos G said it, because he said, oh, yeah, that right, we were on lockdown for this long, this whatever, right? And then he goes on to say, the whites were able to be the only ones out there. They came off lockdown, that whites, whoever else, right, came off lockdown. And that's when Wes used to go give him a stick of weed in the cell or whatever. He knew Wes, right? And then the story jumps from, a couple days later, he sees Wes fight the shot caller in the gym. It was a mean-ass fight. Fucking Wes held his own. And, bro, weren't you guys supposed to be on lockdown another 10, 11 months? I don't know, right? That's just, I don't know. The story jumps around a lot. All I got to say is this, man. With Wes Watson, he's a legend in his own mind, right? He's able to go from yard to yard, put hands on shot callers, because ultimately, man, he is that one. He's Super Wes. He's Super Wes, and anyone that fucking doesn't believe that, man, you're full of shit, And so what, man? He was the only one in prison that had a Super 3, a VCR, a hot pot, a fucking air fryer, a stinger, everything in his cell because he's Wes Watson. Yeah. And all the cops knew it. They fucking knew it, So hey, so be it if he gets called a bitch and he challenges the shot caller to a fade in front of all the different races in prison and handles his business, and they're just chunking him like this. And he's able to do all that, right? And then he's just able to walk the yard. He got his respect. Yeah, that shot caller, he doesn't feel disrespected. He's going to let Wes just chill. They're not going to stab him. They're not going to remove him because he's Wes Watson. He's able to do that. This guy's able to do that. You guys didn't know that? He gets special privileges, just like with the fucking Shamuta cartel. I seen Big Boy. He said, wow, man.
He's Wes Watson, dog. Damn, dog. Hey, what are we going to do tonight, Wes?
Wes was like, oh, we're going to chill. We're going to do a few push-ups. We're going to go eat. You're going to pay for it. And then I'm going to open up my phone book, and we're going to get some call girls. We're going to call guy for Chuck Basher. And we're all just going to sit around in my backyard, my rented backyard, and play kumbaya, little Yahtzee, and, chill with the call girls. And Big Boy said,
hey, dog, that sounds cool, but it's cool. I'll just kick it with Big Joe.
I'm telling you, man, it's just different over there dealing with these guys. I don't know, man. You let me know. Do you think that the story's true? Do you think that Wes Watson was actually fucking chunking him with the shot collar and nothing happened to him. It was just all good. Anyone that's been in prison, people that haven't been in prison, I understand that you'll believe these stories. And again, it was Oklahoma, so it might have been a little different. But in my experience, man, a shot caller for the woods is not going to allow a one-on-one fight. He's just going to take a fade in front of everyone, man, and then, it's all good. Nah, Wes Watson would have been removed a long time ago. That's just what I think. Maybe I'm wrong. With that being said, thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and struggle for what I really believe in, and that's the betterment of all people. And I got to say this.
Wes, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I believe you might have fought, but I don't believe you won. That's the reason they let you stick around, idiot.
This is the gun, man. I appreciate you. Bang, bang.